cancel of seats have had to separate and in some cases lost contacts. At gatherings like this, nothing can be as stimulating as the nostalgic feelings and recollections of the good old days. Therefore, I wish to appeal to you all to take the advice and counsel of schedule officers to heart very dearly and ensure due diligence as well as proper planning in all expenditure you may need to make, particularly in the areas of business and investments. Please endeavor to seek guidance and professional advice from financial consultants and small business experts before taking decisions which could significantly impact your families. While today's ceremony is not an occasion for long speeches, I must commend the clear commitment of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, to the efficient and effective administration of the contributory pension scheme in Lagos State, one of the outcomes of which is the regular issuance of retirement benefit bond certificates to retirees of the state public service, the reason for today's gathering. Before concluding this brief address, I wish to commend the members, staff, management, and board members of the pension and nutrition agencies in Lagos State, particularly the Lagos State Pension Commission, for their determination and demonstrated commitment to the successful implementation of the state government's policy objectives towards achieving a seamless pension administration system in Lagos State. You have been duly advised by the DG. Please adhere to this advice. Once again, on behalf of the head of service, I want to congratulate you and to thank God Almighty for sparing your lives, that you could witness a day like this. And thank God for what is evidently clear here today, by the show of hands that only 2 are just representing retirees who are deceased. I think the state government deserves a round of applause for this. In some states, ìrònú ti pa ẹlòmíì, àìtètè rí pension gba ìtèrí nǹkan míì, ó ti jákè lòmíì lọ. Bí àgbẹ̀ tí wọ́n náà wò ṣe kí níbẹ̀, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. So on behalf of the head of service, I'm saying congratulations and wishing you all the best. For the little time or whatever time you have got to spend on Mother Earth, 1,000 years in the sight of God is just like an evening gone. God will spare your life to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Finally, on behalf of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Lagos State, I wish you all success. And I also wish to seize this opportunity that the leadership provided by the Minister of Established Rates, Clean and Pensions, under the leadership of Mrs. Jibola Kunle, I wish to at least commend that, and God will continue to bless you and strengthen you. More grace to your elbow. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you.
Let's bend the sword.
have already collected your letter, apportionment letter, and you've taken it to that state. What that means is they've commenced the processing. We don't need to give you another one. Okay? If you have any attached to your bond certificate, it's just to show that it's your entitlement. Right? To be a photocopy is not one you will take because you've already taken it and they started work on that one. Okay? Because there are some here who did not do what you have done. Some are not as proactive. But some of you started collecting your letters because you have been waiting, and so you felt, let me start the processing on the other side. It will also take some time, which is what you did, which was quite good. So I would say that you don't need to take the letter anymore. Just hold on to your bond. And for Mrs. Omola Bake, you said that you got promoted later after April 2007. And you got the letter maybe sometime, maybe even December. What you need to do is, if you check your bond certificate, look at the grade level stated on it, right? If it shows the one that you have a letter for, that one that you got promoted to, then you know it is all right. But if it does not show that, then get back to us. Because it is what we have in your file that we will work with. If it is not in your file that you were promoted, and you got the letter later, we will work with what is in your file. So just check it, just like Afis has told you, look at the information. Every information on that bond certificate is very critical. Do you understand? So what you need to do is look at it one by one and carefully, so that if you have questions, please let us know. At that point, what we'll do is to tell you to write a letter saying that this is the grade level, and then it will be reprocessed, and any additional will be given to you. Good morning, Madam Commissioner. Can you join me to welcome the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pensions, to this meeting? Please put your hands together. It's an official invitation, and she has come here to celebrate with you. So let me finish with the, and then we'll begin the celebration proper. We were waiting for her, and of course the head of the service. And for Mrs. Florence, the ID card is for everybody, right? It's for everybody. However, the ID card is supposed to serve different purposes. If you retire and you live outside Lagos, there are some benefits you may not access with that ID card. Because the ID card is meant to serve three main purposes per se. Number one, to identify you that you have worked and you have retired. That's number one. So that nobody will be asking you, what's your means of identification? You have that. Secondly, for Lagos State in particular, no other state has done what we want to do now. Even the federal government has not done what we want to do with those ID cards. The ID cards will enable you to have access to free health care in Lagos State, and also to be able to enter our lab bus, all these blue fine buses. You'll be able to enter them free of charge. Okay? And I'm going. But that ID card, if you live outside Lagos, it will not work for you in Ogun State. Right? Number 2 point is that ID card, for it to work for you even in Lagos State, you must be 60 years and above. So if you are not yet 60, that ID card will just be a means of identification for you until you are at 60. And that is why the card has your date of birth. Once you are at 60, automatically it is activated for you to have free access. For Mr. Olutayo, you asked a question about TIN, tax identification number. Check what is that? Tax identification number and national identification number. They are two different things. One is to show your tax status, and you know it's just coming up recently that from January, your bank account, any bank account in Nigeria, if it doesn't have that tax identification number, you won't be able to withdraw money there. Whatever we are going to pay to you is going to be paid into your bank account. And banks will not honor maybe withdrawals if you don't have a tax identification number, right? So that's the federal government's directive. However, I am sure that as a retiree, as a pensioner, you are exempt from paying tax. But that means it will be recognized and you will still be given a number, right? So to enable you to have access to your bank account. But your status as a pensioner will be taken note of, but that number will still be generated for you. And it's different from national identity number. National identity number, if you don't have it, you won't even be able to talk to the PFA for them to make any computation for you. So it's very important for you to have that. That's the first step, right? And that's why Afis mentioned that you should go to their office there. Once you are 60, you'll be given preferential treatment. Mrs. Oshikoya. Aha. Sorry, let me finish with Mr. Olutayo. You also mentioned the issue of delays in payment of entitlements. You will notice that in the last few months, there has been accelerated payments. Abi, is it not so? Yes. In the last few months, you've been seeing that we are paying billions, billions, billions. We know that these monies have to be paid, and that is just to let you know that work has already started on ensuring that we get to the point where we don't owe anybody. We just want you to exercise a little bit of patience as we go about this.
Gentlemen of the press and to our celebrants of today, our retirees, definitely retired but definitely not tired. In fact, I was looking at some of those downstairs and I thought, there's our mommy here in blue. She was showing us some, in fact, the young ones cannot beat her. In blue in front here with the lady. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here with you to celebrate and to rejoice as you receive your retirement benefit bond certificates. A document which I call the passport to your financial independence in retirement. In Lagos State, as the DG said, I'd like to also pause at this moment to welcome my chairman, the chairman of the Committee for Establishment, Training and Pensions, Honorable Makinde, and also the Permanent Secretary of the Civil Service Pension Office in the Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pensions. You're also welcome. Since the inception of the contributory pension scheme, Lagos State continues to be in the forefront of ensuring efficient and effective pension scheme administration. While salaries of active workers statewide are paid monthly, we know that 23rd, it doesn't shake in Lagos State, and we need to be grateful for that, because honestly, I've gone around states, not every state can boast that they get their salaries monthly. But not only that, we also ensure that the retirement savings account of employees are religiously related. Mr. Governor was appointed, luckily for me, he was also here on the seat that I sit on as the Commissioner for Establishment, Training and Pensions. He was there in 2007. So for me, it was easy to pass a lot of the initiatives that we had actually started working on. He understands clearly that what pension means to a retiree. It is a life wire. And upon assumption of office, he gave directives that all the pension obligations, that we should work out a system to ensure that all pension obligations are cleared. And as the DG said, an amount was approved by the State Executive Council to increase the fund for the pension scheme, so that by God's grace, by the end of this administration, we would have cleared all the backlog and outstanding to pensions. So that when every retiree retires, as they're retiring, within a month or two, they have access to their pensions. And again, we might take that as something small, but at a time like this, with the competing priorities, because any other governor could have come and said, let us focus on roads only. Let us focus on hospitals and education, which we are focusing on because they're competing priorities. But we also recognize the fact that the welfare of workers, both in service and out of service, are just as important. And that's why, as the DG said, almost like 1.6 billion every single month is going into the accounts to ensure that we increase the pace at which we're clearing the backlog for our pensions. I think Mr. Governor and the Executive Council deserve a round of applause. So in essence, for the 70th batch retirement bond presentation ceremony, a total of 321 retirees today here, they have been credited an amount of 1.63 billion, and we remain committed to our ideals of making Lagos State a role model for others to follow. But I want to take a moment now to recognize two, and even possibly more, of us who are entitled to this fund but are not here today. So I'd like us to please rise for a moment of silence for our colleagues. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. We are working hard to ensure that other benefits accrue to our pensioners. She mentioned already that we're working to ensure that on all the Lagos State transportation services, not just Lag Bus, but very soon we're going to have Lag Ferry, which is the boats, and by God's grace, soon also, before the end of this administration, the rail line will also come into operation. We're working to ensure that our pensioners, all those above the age of 60, will have free service on all these modes of transportation. And by God's grace, that should commence sometime in the new year. And in addition to that, we're also working to ensure that our pensioners get access to medical insurance. So that when we pray not, but if anything happens with sickness or you have somewhere to go to, and you'll be covered by the health insurance scheme. So Lagos is working. We care about welfare of our pensioners and also welfare of the entire workforce. I want to stop now to really appreciate Laspec. Ably led, as I said, by our, in fact, energetic, but not just energetic, but hard-working DG, Mrs. Bola Shade Onoruga. And I won't say that lightly, and I will also celebrate the entire staff of Laspec because they run this commission professionally. Not so? Or does anybody have a contrary opinion? Laspec, well done. A round of applause for Laspec. Thank you very much for your hard work, for your service. And I always use Laspec, as one of those model commissions. They do what they are expected, over and beyond what is expected of them, and to a very high level at all times. And that is why during the year, they were actually recognized. They were given, Laspec, Lagos State, was given an award in recognition of their contribution towards pension administration. It was an award for Africa. They were given an award as the best committee or commission, pension commission in the whole of Africa. And that was given to them in Ghana. And not only that, our very own, success has many friends. So I will claim our DG, my very own DG, for winning the pension Woman of the Year for Africa. We appreciate you, and we pray that the Lord will continue to lift you up and strengthen you to do that which you have started doing.